Hello. Thank you for joining. I very much look forward to this presentation. This is a part of the world tour. I've been on the road since January, visiting more than 30 countries to discuss the potential, the opportunities, and also challenges with spatial AI. And just tomorrow, I'll leave for Stockholm for the next 24 cities. I plan to be home in November. So for you that cannot join me in this exciting tour, I want to share with you a little bit of the insights that I have and how you can deploy spatial artificial intelligence now and future-proof your organization. So without further ado, let's get started. So the medicine for this problem, this challenge that we have come up with is called a Spatial Artificial Intelligence Center. And in the next few minutes, you'll understand why we use this vehicle, what it entails concretely, and how we've done it in more than 100 countries across the world. So let's get started. First of all, let's talk a little bit about statistics. The World Economic Forum recently said that you need to have AI in your organization, and more important, you need to train your employees for AI. This is a top priority. The next thing is that we all know, and I happen to be in that camp, that AI is disruptive. It offers challenges and it offers opportunities. Some predictions are that although it's going to be very positive in the long run, there will be quite a few disruptions potentially in the short run, especially if we don't take proactive measures. What I think we'll see, what we saw so far, for example, here where I am today in California, which is the strikes from Hollywood and now teachers, is just the beginning. We expect that more and more people will be displaced. And if we don't do anything proactively, we'll start with creative jobs, professional white-collar jobs, and this will culminate sometimes in the next few years, after which governments will realize the necessity and start taking those required measures. But why wait? Why don't do it today? And that's what I'm going to focus my entire speech on, how we can address that big issue today and how already many have done so. If we do that, I believe that we will not only create a much smoother transition to the future that's inevitable, but we'll also be able to thrive. Organizations, governments that do this today will come up on top. In a big scheme of things, this is a reshuffling of the cards. Countries that used to be leaders may not come out as leaders from this event, and the opposite. I see a lot of global South countries that do so. Okay, so what are the consequences? Let's assume the positive activity here, that we take a measure today, and let's say we jointly partner for a center. I think this could assist greatly to job creation, education retraining, addressing many of the global challenges that we face, and also promoting this type of technology as an exporter. When it comes to academic institutions, we have similar opportunities. I'm not going to talk about the negative sides, loss of reputation, outdated curriculum. We will focus on the future-ready academy and curriculum, the enhanced reputation, and better student outcomes. But this is not limited to education alone. In fact, the biggest impact will be in organization, corporations. And that's where also the biggest job displacement could happen. Now, your job will not be taken from you by AI, but there is a risk that it will be taken from you by a human that is using AI. And that's what we need to stay vigilant. Okay, so let's get started. What can we expect there? You can gain a competitive advantage. There is innovation and efficiencies that can happen, and long-term sustainability when it comes to that. Okay, so where is EON fitting in this big equation? Now, we have been around for more than 25 years now. That's a long period. And we have become, just in the last few years, leaders in spatial artificial intelligence for knowledge transfer. We don't do games, we don't do entertainment. We focus on how can we transfer know-how so workers, students can learn faster, retain information longer, and make better decisions. And that's what we're doing. So far, we have been quite reasonably successful, although we are in the beginning of the journey. About 44 million people have downloaded our viewers. So we have, as of last year, increased our number of users. We have now about 100 countries that are on board. But we want, for making a dent and impact, we want to increase to around 1 billion people in the coming years. And that's one reason that we are doing this awareness tour about the capabilities around the globe. Other things that I will mention later on has to do with our nonprofit. We also help the Global South, especially countries in need, with our nonprofit Learn for Life. Okay, so let's start with the basics. The first base here is the underlying capability that EON has been nurturing for 25 years, is what we refer to as spatial computing. You heard this functionality in many formats: metaverse, extended reality, virtual reality, augmented reality. That is a common name. Now let's look at what the benefits are from this technology alone. Rather than me talking about it, I selected to take an old video here from PricewaterhouseCoopers. Let's listen in.
We have conducted a study on virtual reality learning. We found learners in VR required less time to learn. They had higher emotional connection to the content, higher confidence, and were less distracted during the training.
Okay, that sounds very good. In fact, that sounds impressive. But this also begs the question, how come not everybody's using it if it's so good? In fact, I will answer that question in 2 slides. But before doing that, let's look at the other side of spatial AI, namely artificial intelligence. So everybody's impressed. I wouldn't say everybody, but most people are impressed about the capability of ChatGPT. But if you look at it a little bit closer, what you see is a brain in a jar. It's a language model. It lacks context, doesn't know who you are, where you are. Not only that, so that's a problem. Now, what we've done is we took spatial computing and combined it with artificial intelligence, creating spatial AI. And that's what I'm going to talk about it today. By doing so, not only have we created a very smart avatar, but we essentially have taken the genie out of the bottle. Because this avatar can not only speak and converse and help you, but it can also show you and tell you things in a virtual and augmented reality world. And it can guide you and assist you in the physical world. And that's what I find quite compelling. Okay. Now let's first take the basics. Now, let me explain to you why this technology hasn't been so successful and what EON has done to achieve that. The first problem, if you remember, was that this technology wasn't easy to use. So we started with something we call KISS, Keep It Simple, Stupid. We enabled a platform that actually my mother, she's 84, she can use it to create content for her cooking classes. So it was the first thing. The second thing we did, we made it agnostic, means that it works on any device. It works on your phone, it works on your tablet, it works on anything you can think, including 30 plus different augmented and virtual reality devices. So the other thing is, once you create the content, you can create it once, then it works in virtual reality, augmented reality, and also mixed reality. So that was a good start, but that was not enough. Then we had to create the library. We started with 20,000 assets, and now today we are more than 8 million assets and growing. So you don't have to create anything. It is in the library, although you can create if you want this environment. So that was a good start. We made it available and accessible and affordable using this type of approach. The second thing we had to do is to do what I refer to as merged XR. So this is the ability to just create, let's say if you want to do a digital twin of your room or any equipment in your room. And then once we have that, using artificial intelligence, not only do we scan it, but we also inject contextual knowledge in the physical space. So with AI, we are able to integrate and make sure that your objects, your environments come to life and can guide and assist you. That was great. And then during the, let's say, pandemic, we also released a product we call Spatial Meetings. And what it's doing is that you can link yourself up to a virtual environment and connect from people from across the world using an avatar. Full body avatar, this one is shows half body, was a few years ago. And these avatars can then interact either with people that are in the same location, different locations, and you can be in your hospital or room to learn, train, perform. Now, the best part of this, you can also use just your phone. So with your phone, you can walk around physically in these spatial environments. The next thing after that was to create what we refer to as a metaverse builder. So not only limit ourselves to object or room, but we can do entire environments. And we can create them simply by walking and talking, as you will see in a few seconds when I'll demo this. And then, of course, these environments need to also come to life. So we do what we call touch and go. So by just simply touching an environment, a little bit like Harry Potter, you can inject interaction and animations in your physical or virtual space. Actually, as you can see in this environment. Now, with that, we had what we thought was a full package, which obviously helped us increase the users to 100%. But then, here's the interesting part. We said, what about if we want to create the content using AI? So the idea here is, I use a pizza metaphor. What do you need for great pizza? You need great ingredients, you need a recipe, and you need a chef. So the ingredients in this case consisted of a library of 8 million assets and growing. We have the second part was the recipe, which comes from the integration with large language models that EON has done. And the chef is an avatar. Now this avatar not only, guides you and assists you in the virtual world, but shows you and tells you things in the physical world. Let's have a look.
In today's fast-paced world, technology is advancing at an unprecedented rate. But what if we could use technology to enhance the way that we learn, work, and play? Introducing EON Reality's AI assistant.
Hi, what do you want to learn about today?
Now, in interest of time, I'm not going to show you everything, but here's an example of show and tell in the virtual world. You can see some example with viruses, how to standard operation on aircrafts. But you can, the remarkable part, you can also do this in the physical room. This is a car wash, and you can see the avatar is guiding and assisting you what to do and how this operates there. But this can be anything. It can be a factory environment, a production, hospital, any museum, or even Beverly Hills and Hollywood Boulevard here for a guided tour. Let's go to the demo. And when I can choose between create, explore, library, or chat. Let's go for create. I'll have to point this to a surface.
Please choose from the following segments or use the microphone to provide a topic of your choice.
So let's go for education, health and science, allied health science, and then medical procedures.
You've selected the topic medical procedures and techniques from the education segment. Do you want to learn about the main components or a procedure of the chosen topic?
Let's go for main components.
Medical procedures and techniques are methods used to diagnose, treat, and prevent diseases and medical conditions. One fun fact about medical procedures and techniques in allied health sciences is that acupuncture, a traditional Chinese medicine practice, has been found to stimulate the release of endorphins, which are natural painkillers produced by the body. Here is a video related to medical procedures and techniques.
And I'll place it on the floor. You can see the avatar is moving away to leave space for the hospital. I'll get it at scale and I can scale it up. So here is my hospital. Let's make it bigger.
This is a quick demonstration for the procedure of medical procedures and techniques. Prescribe appropriate medication based on the diagnosis. Step 3. Administer immunization if necessary for preventive measures. Ask me anything anytime by tapping the microphone button.
Let's see what I want to do. I can add objects, I can have voice annotation, I can do 3D recording, add interactions. Let's add an object. Ventilator. And there's many ventilators. I'll select one of those. Let's switch the persona, because I want the specialist now for ventilators. Let's use a university professor. And now he can create assessment for us also.
What, the ventilator?
I think it's a machine that can help people breathe. That was right. And I want to create my own instructions by recording. Yes, good afternoon. Today we're going to learn about this ventilator, so its parts, how the cabling works, but also we will learn about a standard operation procedure for maintenance of this by looking at the various parts. Now, keep in mind that I am in this virtual environment, but it's a bit interesting because at the same time, you can see I look outside the window and I am in the physical environment. And likewise, if I'm looking at that environment behind the door, you can see that that is my physical environment. At any time, if I start to doubt my reality, all I have to do is to shrink this environment and now unveil the physical experience. And this lesson will be created. I will save and exit.
Welcome to Laguna Beach, a coastal city in Orange County, California.
This is a home office setup. The desk is made of wood and is cluttered with various items such as a coffee cup, headphones, and a microphone. There is a large window that has a view of the hills and the ocean. The window has bamboo blinds that are partially drawn. There is an exercise bike in the room. The room is brightly lit with natural light from the window. The bookshelf has 3 shelves and is built into the wall. The top left shelf has a yellow book, a picture frame, and a skull of an animal. The middle shelf has a book, a picture frame, and a small statue. The bottom shelf has a dark blue book with a yellow car model on top of it. The printer is black and appears to be a newer model. The right wooden bookshelf upper shelf has a vase, a book titled Churches. There is a large abstract painting hanging on the wall above the couch. The home office radiates the essence of a creative professional evident from the Mac Pro and microphone. The eclectic mix on the bookshelves, from sculptures to varied books, suggests an individual with a rich tapestry of experiences, possibly well-traveled and cultured. The exercise bike speaks to a commitment to health, while the prominent world map indicates a global perspective or wanderlust. With a blend of personal touches and functional items, this room seems to be the sanctuary of someone who intertwines their work with their diverse personal interests.
Okay, so that was pretty cool, right? But we have just scratched our surface. What we did in a short demo, we used the EON AI assistant, and we were able to create and use the guided experience through education. We selected medical. Then we selected show and tell. We didn't do different languages, but we did knowledge portals. You saw text, voice, image, video. We did multiple objects. We didn't do 360. We did a very simple assessment followed by a character composer where you could choose different characters, action commands, We didn't do interact and virtual stories. When it comes to explore, we have also scratched the surface there with respect to recognizing items and injecting knowledge in your physical world. Next time, if we have time, we're going to go through this vast library of millions of extended reality assets, but that will take us a while. So that requires a deep dive. Likewise with the chat, likewise with the capability to decide and to train it on your own data. So that's next time. Okay. Now, my demo was mainly focused on the area of using a phone, what 7 billion people have in their pocket. However, in the centers, we have more. We have the ability to connect with the most sophisticated headsets, about 31 different devices. We can do more. Because you can use your hands, obviously, you can see here, I'm manipulating things using my hands. Or if you have an Oculus, you can use the commands, this one, and you can interact fully. So EON is very scalable from literally from a phone all the way to any device, all the way to a dome. You also notice this very exciting new user interface in the demo.
Welcome to EON Spatial AI, the next frontier of artificial intelligence. Begin your experience creation.
So you can see we have this very floating UX, but you don't have to pay almost, what is it, $4,000 to get one from Apple. You can use it with your phone today. We saw a bit of character composer, actually not so much, but you can change persona. I think we saw the university professor here. You can choose any persona or customize yours. And then something that's very exciting, rather than to use just the generic model, we can train it on your data. That means that now we have a train AI, so you can take your company documents, anything that you have, PDFs or academic institution, you can just upload it in EON XR, and the AI will learn. It takes literally just a few minutes, and then after that it will be able to answer your questions, and not only answer your question but showing, telling, guiding, assist you. We didn't test the multilingual, so let's have a look. We support about 82 different languages at the moment, rapidly growing to 1,000 with our partnership, what we're doing with Google integration. So French.
Combien de langues existent-il sur la planète?
Il existe plus de 7000 langues.
And obviously you can choose Chinese and any language you may wish. Now, one thing that I find exciting is EON Interact. So you can tell your avatar, do a backflip. So you can command and then do interaction based on those voice commands. A bit like Harry Potter with touch and go. So you rotate, say, rotate the globe, or I want this heart to start pumping, and it will do that based on voice commands. Now, obviously, everything we saw on the phone works also on a desktop. So that's very practical if you don't like to use your phone, and so on. This can go on. And now, when we introduce this to industry, there are a number of additional issues that this platform has to solve. We talk about whether it is for the automobile industry, or it is for the construction industry, or medical industry, or hospitality, defense. We need to have a proprietary AI. You can't have a generic AI. And that's where we design something we call EON Mind.
Delve into a new era of AI technology with EON Mind, the latest innovation from EON Reality. The trailblazers in AI-driven.
So what does it do? I'm not going to play the video right now. What it does, it enables you to have your own AI that doesn't leak information to one of the big companies that you're familiar with, like OpenAI, etc. But it also allows you to have it downloaded to your own devices. So that's the first thing. So it's a very secure way. It's hosted in the cloud by Amazon Web Service, which is one of the most secure platforms out there. This in combination with trained AI, the one that I just showed you, is quite amazing, because then you actually build your own knowledge base. And there's two things that AI does very well. One is the user interface, show and tell, guide and assist. And the other one is the perception, what we call IntelliScan, the ability to reason. And that requires proprietary data, which you now can store. Once you have that, you can do lots of things. One of those is think tank.
Welcome to the future of decision-making and problem-solving. EON Think Tank. EON is a revolution in the realm of decision support systems, fueled by the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning.
So the question is, what does this do? Let's say I'm facing a blade in an aircraft, and I'm not sure, should I replace it or should I repair it? You define the problem, it gives you 3 solutions, it gives you a deeper thought process, and it gives you a recommendation, and it ranks those recommendations. So whether it's a very practical problem that I described now, or it's a more complex problem, there's many aspects. That's what EON Think Tank does. Now, in the end, I would say the biggest challenge to introduce this technology is trust. How can we trust it? And we all know there are a lot of challenges here that, such as copyright infringement, such as hallucination, security, understanding how it achieves those results. And that's what EON has addressed with EON AI Trust. Let's listen in.
EON AI Trust revolutionizing artificial intelligence with a comprehensive approach that leaves no stone unturned. Data is the lifeblood of AI. At EON, we use trusted sources to amass quality data, improving the quantity through unique training capabilities. We don't just protect intellectual property rights, we respect them.
Okay, so let me be a little bit more concrete. Hallucination is a good example that we address by having real trained data. Infringement copyrights by only using original materials. Plagiarism, cheating by actually seeing what the user is doing when performing. Lack of transparency by providing decision support. And I can go on and on. There's about 10 other aspects that this platform provides. There's much more I can continue with, but because we have a lot of ground to cover, I will refer this to our later discussion. I will only select one more that I'm extremely excited about, and you'll see a demo later today, which is the ability to really have a co-pilot in the physical world. So by simply using a phone and scanning the room, let's say I'm in unfamiliar territory, it will identify everything in the room. It will reason around that and help and guide me and assist me in an environment, whether I want to learn, train, or perform. Let's listen in.
EON IntelliScan. Welcome to a revolutionary understanding of your environment with EON IntelliScan. Picture this. Using your mobile device, you effortlessly capture a complete 360-degree view. Instantly, our AI dives into analysis, identifying and marking each object in sight. But it goes beyond mere identification. Our AI now understands the relationships between these elements. Here's where the magic happens. The AI becomes your personal guide, unveiling the secrets of your surroundings. It could be teaching you how things work, guiding through complex procedures, or offering instructions on standard protocols. Want an interactive quiz about your surroundings? You've got it. What about an in-depth exploration of each object? Absolutely. It even builds a knowledge portal for every object it spots. Envision being in an operating room with the AI walking you through surgical steps, or in a factory, learning about assembly lines and safety protocols. Perhaps you're at a landmark, absorbing enriching historical insights. In a chemistry lab, it helps identify chemicals and safety gear.
I think you got it. Perhaps I would like to highlight a last thing. We all believe now that we are approaching something called AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence, which then will lead us to ASI, Artificial Superintelligence. So how will our world be then? More important, how will that impact you how will this impact your organization? So for that, we developed something we call AGI Predict, where we can make qualified guesses about the future. I know it's a dangerous thing to do, but I just want to show you a glimpse of that right now.
EON AGI Predict. In a world where the future is increasingly shaped by artificial general intelligence, AGI, imagine having a tool that not only forecasts the trajectory of this transformation, but also guides you to innovate and adapt. Welcome to EON AGI Predict, a groundbreaking tool designed to help you navigate the uncharted territories of AGI. EON AGI.
Okay, so now from that futuristic view to something very practical. And of the 29 use cases, I selected only 6. So let's have a look. Let's start with manufacturing. What we see here is a factory floor environment. And in this factory floor, we are looking at an avatar. And this avatar is able to interact. You will be guided, assisted by it in this environment through the procedures, etc. Here's an example of our Japanese reseller that is using this for describing products. And here's a safety example, how this is used for safety procedures and accidents in real production. Now, energy sector is very exciting, whether it's traditional energy, like we see here.
And following safe work procedures. 5. Monitoring work conditions regularly. 6. Investigating all incidents and
Yeah, you see a procedure description and guided. Or you do it in the real environment. In this case, we are doing it for an electricity location, and we put it in, when I say real environment, I mean on the street, although the experience that you see here is a virtual training procedure. Let's go to something that I find very exciting. It's a cockpit on a flight from London to Los Angeles.
Right, 32,000 feet.
In the unlikely event that you get an engine failure, the system can not only identify what's wrong and but also what to do. So it provides you instruction, step-by-step instruction and visual instructions in flight for this type of application. Now, the capability are not limited to in flight. You can also take it at home. In this case, you can see it at home. And the way I was trying to depict how you can see that it's at home is because, yeah, there you go. You can see in the background there's a painting. So this is not a real cockpit now. You are in a virtual cockpit environment. Now this can expand to whole training on, as we do now in India, or entire airports. They are building about 100 new airports, and they need to train the tower personnel in how to guide aircrafts in a safe way. And because they can't afford to do it in the physical aircrafts or airports, they are using a virtual environment, as you can see, published on a street. Now, there's also very practical and tangible maintenance repair operations. You can see
typical parts of the military.
So this is for the military environment, but you can also use it for repair operations like you see here.
That goes from the spark plug to the ignition coil.
So a lot of interesting applications for aerospace. An area I'm very fascinated about is the medical area. Many hospitals are using our technology. One of them is Children's Hospital of Orange County.
Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Morty. I am the Chief of Cardiology at Children's Hospital of Orange County.
I'm Ramin. I'm one of the third-year pediatrics.
So what they are doing, they are using this to explain to patients what's happened rather than to draw it. And they have a whole for all type of illnesses and therapeutic procedures. But this is not limited to that. They can also train
to the success of the module, or what we
using this.
This new program is definitely
reduce the anxiety for patients around, for example, MRI procedures, and how to train nurses how to conduct this in a safe and in a way that patients are not are actually going through this procedure in a way that doesn't elevate their anxiety. So from very practical things like COVID education to CPR training, to advanced surgical procedures.
Containing vapors, dust.
This is very much possible to use in healthcare. Now, what I like about this one is that it's also applicable in tourism. So let's say you land in Pisa at the airport, you downloaded a QR code for an app, and you have your personal guide that then shows you and tells you everything you need to know in your local language about this particular site. And this can be also places like
an inscription
Lisbon
on the pedestal,
or why not one of my favorite places, which is
Prague is a very beautiful area of the city. It's located in the center of the old town.
So this is going from Los Angeles
in over 60 films.
Describe to me
so to all corners of the world. Now, safety and security is something very important.
Where these two seem to be out
of this is that
and spot that.
We have suspicious signs that we identify, and this application is made for training for next Olympics, security personnel to have a safe and assess their performance if they qualify to handle very extreme situation that can happen from a safety perspective. Another example is earthquakes. So this is developed for Turkey in conjunction with the earthquake that they had recently. Or a final example, there's a whole factory environment here where we are training safety procedure in case something unexpected happens. So those are just some examples of security. Okay. With that, we cover a lot of categories. In education, more than 87 large categories and 970 different subcategories. This is the thing that has helped us a lot to escalate our sales. Now, perhaps you ask yourself, in education, what would you say are the top 4 benefits? And what is our experience from rolling this out across the world? Let me show you a couple of examples. The first one here is from United States, LACC. Then we have New Mexico University, etc. And you can see above there some examples from Europe. The common denominator among all those is one, this technology helps you to learn faster. Let's go back. Learn faster, retain information longer, and make better decisions. Okay. Practically, it really transforms education. So if you compare a traditional classroom environment with an experienced reality, experiential learning environment, you'll see that students are more engaged, they are more excited, the enrollment goes up, the knowledge retention goes up, and overall the revenues for such an academic institution by getting more students is increasing. And most important, the teachers are satisfied. And I'll go into that a little bit more in a second. One key question that seems to resurface every time I talk with an organization is they have a digital transformation vision or strategy or plan, and to build their own IP in digital assets. Now, this offers not a PowerPoint, but actually a practical, tangible way to achieve that. Not only that, it also helps you to monetize it, because what I haven't talked about is the fact that EON has a marketplace, and this marketplace allows you to publish what you created. If you want, you own your content, so you don't have to share anything. But if you want to share it, there is ability to do that on the marketplace when we have almost 44 million viewers at the moment. So 80% of the revenue generated if you charge something for your application will go back straight to you. Okay, so now let's move this video here. At this point, many times I get the question is, but can you share with us some testimonials? And if you want to do that, we have a wonderful YouTube channel there that our team has put together. You can see your application, whether it's Canada or, I don't know, Costa Rica or Peru, or, United States, Middle East. So really across 100 countries where we have decision maker at these academic institutions and also industries that share with you why they use it and how they use it, and etc. Okay. So whether it's academic institutions like Cornell University, Carnegie Mellon, Imperial College that are using this, what they typically do and how we normally engage with customers is by providing a simple fee. So it's a simple fee of $36 in the United States and $55 for teachers, 36 for students, 55 for teachers per product. And if you want to learn more about that, I'm not going to go into it today. You can find it on our web page. Now, in the industry sector, we charge a little bit more. So it's about $200. And what we do there is we help two things. One is to reduce training costs, right? So we've seen up to 92% reduction in training costs for service technician training. We've seen 63% reduction in training costs for operator training. So not only can you train things that you could never train in real reality because it's too dangerous, but you can also take traditional training activities and reduce the cost versus, in this case, classroom training. So that's why over the years, we've accumulated a numerous amount of customers, Global 100. You see some of them on this slide. And at the same time, we've seen increase in productivity. And this was before we introduced artificial intelligence. Those numbers that you see there have significantly increased. Now, the way we have structured our model is optimized really to reach as many people as possible. Our target is to reach 1 billion people in the coming years. To do so, we have crafted a pricing structure that is reducing the cost the wider the deployment is. And for the global south and developing countries, we even have something called grants where we, together with help organizations, sponsor most of the cost for implementation. That's based on the principle that we believe that knowledge is a human right, and we want to make it available, accessible, and affordable for everybody on the planet. Okay, so that requires for me to, and for my colleagues, to meet a lot of people. So we've had the honor to meet a number of heads of states, ministers of education, IT, digital transformation, economy in some countries across the world, and to do big events. So just in the last 2 weeks, this is our recent event in Singapore. This is about a week or so, our event in Philippines. And we are coming to 24 locations. And in the end of this presentation, you can, if you want to join one of the events physically or virtually, let me know, and we'll be happy to have you join. So that's further pictures from our last event. This is an example of how we engage with one partner. This happens to be in Kuwait. So we team up there with a national technology enterprise company, and we're working there with large deployment. One of the latest one is with Arab Open University, where we initially start with 50,000 students to roll this out. So it's a very exciting development. Okay, so some of you now may ask the question, this all sounds very good, but what if we were to engage with EON, to what extent are we helping and what exactly are we providing beyond the platform? And the short version of that is we provide a turnkey solution, trying to figure out this video. Yeah, we provide a turnkey solution that covers more or less everything you need. So let's start. Infrastructure. We provide perpetually a cloud infrastructure based on Amazon services that host this data, unlimited time, unlimited data. 2, we provide the EON platform infrastructure that connects with the top 31 providers of headsets, devices, and other type of hardware, including Microsoft HoloLens, Facebook Meta Oculus, Magic Leap, Google devices, Apple ARKit, and many more. The second thing we provide are all our platforms, and I described them previously, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Now, if you get the grants, you can also get some of these perpetually because you become then a partner. So that's something to note. We also provide some hardware, not a lot, because most people use their own devices, right? But we do provide some exciting futuristic things, such as the latest headsets, the latest augmented reality, like Vision Pro is now included in the program starting next year when it's released, but also 360 cameras, scanners, projectors, and things you need for what we call the innovation lab. Finally, we provide know-how and resources. This is very important because that's a crucial aspect of being successful in this area, okay? Now, how do we implement it? There is a whole process here on implementation. Time doesn't allow me to go into that today, but I wanted to highlight one example here. So here's an example from an academic institution. We started with them in April last year. Let's move this around here. And you can see here in April, it started with about 1,000 students, a little bit more. And then within 2 months, we reached 16,500 students. Not only that, but during that period, these students created more than 50,000 different applications in areas such as security studies, information system, English language, architecture, psychology, dental technician, agriculture, and many more. So there are about 18 different segments. And out of these 50,000 that the students created, and this is the beauty of this, that the students are able to create this content. Think about it as a lab, right? As a sandbox. Out of these, 4,339 were selected and incorporated in the curriculum. That's the beauty of in 2 months, going from nothing to having your own curriculum that you own and can deploy. So what are the different packages that we offer to partners today? So you can go for a center. This can go up to, large amounts. I think a center can go up to $18 million and above. If you get the grants, you can go much bigger because then you do national rollouts. We have an academy that we provide. Again, this enables you to not only use the technology to improve learning, training, and performing, but also teach a new cadre of resources for the future jobs in this segment. We also have a lab, and then we have something we call a classroom. So those are packages. You can obviously go for individual products instead of using those packages. And there are also special programs, as I said, not only for grants, but we can do this in phases if required. Okay, so with that, it's time to dive into the key topic of today, which is the center. And the center rests on 6 legs, 6 partner aspects, and I'm very excited to share those with you in a moment. First of all, it is a partnership. It's a partnership between us and a local partner. A local partner can be an enterprise, a government entity, or even a large academic institution. We focus on 3 things: education, enterprise, government, and learning, training, and performance. In short, knowledge transfer. Now, it's all about spatial artificial intelligence, location data, context-aware, situational awareness, decision-making. So we are not just addressing the traditional AI. There's a whole video around this, which in interest of your time, I will not play.
Welcome to the Spatial AI Center, where the future of knowledge transfer is revolutionized.
Access to the link later on.
EON Reality.
So let's talk instead about what are the concrete elements of a center. 6 pillars. We talked a lot about learning, training, and performing. We haven't talked about how you can generate jobs or future-proof your existing job based on what's coming. And we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about how we address the cutting-edge technology, the challenge that by the time we deliver this, it is already old. How can you sustain that cutting-edge technology? And how can you sustain a profitable center? That's the 4th one. And the last 2 is the global network, which we have today, and you become a member of this, and the community support, how this center not only can help your organization, but propagate throughout your community. Let's go in. I'm not going to go too much in detail, but I will just touch a minute on each one. So let's look at learning, training, and performing.
EON Reality is transforming the way students and professionals learn, explore, and engage with the world around them. Dive into captivating 3D environments where lessons come to life, offering a completely new and immersive way to experience education. Harness the power of AI for personalized learning pathways, ensuring knowledge acquisition, retention, and application tailored to your unique needs. Stay engaged with interactive assessments and quizzes, allowing you to track your progress and achieve your educational goals. Unlock deeper understanding with complex model analysis, breaking down intricate subjects to reveal their inner workings. Master skills through simulation-based training scenarios, preparing you for real-world challenges and future success. Join us at EON Reality as we redefine the educational landscape and create a brighter future for learners everywhere.
So the second pillar has to do with jobs. And for that, we have something we call the VR Academy. This is something that EON started almost 10 years ago. And originally, it was called the Virtual Reality Innovation Academy. It's interesting. It's 1/3 theory and 2/3 practice. And this has evolved not only to the metaverse, but now to spatial AI, where we teach everything from prompt engineering. And the exciting part of this is the employability. We reached 97 to 99% employability of students that work through these courses. And in this context, you can see here, for example, how students, in this case at our center in Morocco, are creating application for restaurants, for medical procedures, patient file monitoring, and a lot of these applications actually are used in real life. Some of them
EON Startup Program.
Some of them have even gone up to become a new startup. And for that, we also have, as a part of this academy, a startup program.
EON Startup Program. Picture a world where spatial artificial intelligence revolutionizes industries, transforming the way we live.
Okay, so if we move to the next phase here, it's called innovation infrastructure. EON is not only working on smaller devices, but we can publish this in a full environment, like, for example, a whole sanctuary, literally from a phone to a dome. In this case, you can open up a ceiling and you can see the whole environment. This can be done in scalable ways. So here is a smaller environment that you can see, screens, immersive places, all the way to holographic environments, as you can see that you can control with your hands. But why not the whole room that you bring to life? So in this case, the floor, the walls, you can also do that using our technology. So it's very scalable. Or you can engage in what we call edutainment experiences. So this was used for the FIFA World Cup a few years ago.
Football fans a day were invited to kick a virtual football to launch an app that could make them...
So those are just some examples of what you can do, and EON is continuing this infrastructure expansion, because by the time you deliver it, it becomes the solutions, the hardware can become old, so we are all the time refreshing it. Let's look at something that we are proud to integrate at the moment.
Introducing Apple Vision Pro. The era of spatial computing is here.
We're all familiar with this device, I think, if you're in this business. It was launched not long ago by Apple, and it's still very expensive, but we are integrating it, and we see that it becomes more affordable in the coming years. In fact, EON's whole user interface is aligned with what Apple sees. Now, the great thing about this type of device, this is the future. So we are not only looking at the new augmented reality device, we are looking, in my opinion, to the world of spatial computing, the next computing platform in the coming years. Okay, so one other thing that is quite relevant here has to do with sustainability of the center. And for that, we have something called Learn and Earn, or the marketplace. And you're familiar with that? We talked about it earlier. 80% of the revenue goes to you as a developer when you use this platform. And this can reach out to all corners of the world. And we've seen from very simple applications to very sophisticated applications like you see here. This one, you can even inject various pathologies for eye applications where you can deliberately practice with a virtual patient by injecting those different pathologies. Okay, and then last but not least, actually almost last, is our global network. Let's have a look. So we meet at least 4 times a year on top of the world tours in different locations. Last time we were in Singapore, before that in California, and this one was last year in Turkey, Istanbul. And we have world leaders, corporate leaders that all share how they use this technology across the world. Let's listen in.
EON is a global company and Istanbul is a global city. It's the meeting point of the world, and we saw yesterday and today how it all matches perfectly together. We came from all the continents, from all the different countries, and we are all experiencing what EON is all about. The mission and the vision of education for all that is linked to the new technologies, to artificial intelligence, to virtual reality, augmented reality.
Yeah, so not only do we do that, but we also do large national rollouts and announcements. Here's an example.
للتنمية الدولية وجامعة محمد السادس المساعدة.
This particular one is from Morocco, where we work together with the government, the ministers, and USAID to bring this capability of a national rollout to a country. The last part I want to highlight is the community support. EON is a strong believer in the fact that knowledge is a human right, and we've helped communities across the world, from the global south to organizations also that, or academic institutions that need that help through grant programs. Let's listen in.
Welcome to EON Reality's Learn for Life program, where we believe knowledge is a human right. Learn for Life is EON Reality's nonprofit arm, where we can put our decades of experience into making the world a better place. From children and
yeah, so this is very exciting because not only do we help with education, but here over the years we've been able to help in many different ways, including with basic things in places like Africa or Papua New Guinea or Honduras, understanding malaria, sustainable development of livelihoods, farm mechanization, soil conservation, beekeeping, and many, many more. And as this operation has grown, we've also been very honored to have sponsors and donors to this that have been joining us as partners, like UNIDO, USAID, Inter-American Development Bank, Kellogg's Foundation, and many, many more. So that's something that we really are proud about, and we'd like to use this vehicle to expand from 40-50 million users today, hopefully to 1 billion users in the near future. With that, there's much more to the center, but I know time is not is of essence. So if you want to read more, want to learn more, you're welcome to contact us. We can talk about how we implement this. We can talk about the success factors. We can talk about how this can be owned, how this Learn for Life can contribute if you're part of such developing environments, the exclusive nature of this partnership, et cetera, and where we see this is going, as well as financial projection for the centers and how we operate. So the key takeaways is cutting edge technology, job creation, enhanced learning, market penetration, partnerships and collaboration, and continuous innovation. I know change is hard and change is painful, but in this era, together we can do it, okay? So if you want more details, again, we can share that with you. I was thinking to end on something very specific. So I was in Borneo, in Sarawak, Malaysia, not long ago, and I visited one of our centers. And here's a concrete example. This is in Cochin, so it's a place that is quite far off. This center has a very ambitious plan, is to boost future skill, be able to surf this spatial tsunami, AI tsunami, strengthen the strategic areas that this region has, etc. And we were able to work with them and help them with that. Here's an example of the center that they built with us.
Where we develop everything. So of course, the best part is the EON XR. We always keep introducing this platform to.
So here's our center there, and I'm very proud that to share that they are doing some tremendous work here in Sarawak, yeah. And you can see that this is used for a lot of content development. They also have a special showroom. They integrate this with various corporations. So our center has this demo room.
Okay, so we are behind the hologram and have a pictures there?
Yeah, there is a number of holographic displays, different immersive environments, but what I find fascinating is how they integrate this with industry.
Using the EON XR platform,
yes,
we also introduce the platform to our local industries, including the housing. And the good thing last time, we developed this housing sample and we show them how to walk through inside the house.
So this is just some examples of how they use the technology today. This is not an isolated thing. It's linked with all their other activities. They have a green tech lab, which this is integrated, that produces hydrogen. They have something we call the IoT lab, where sensors are now connected with knowledge portals. They have a 5G lab, or Huawei, that now is also connected. So we are talking about 11 test beds, from solar to 5G to construction to things like manufacturing, hospitality industry, wellness, etc. So it's a very exciting project, but perhaps the most exciting part is this. The center has achieved 97.2% employability, 4,395 graduates, and 68% international certification. So that's pretty exciting. The last thing before I end is, as we go to various cities, we also want to create spatial AI cities. So we engage now with the city of Nice for spatial AI to bring museums, nature exploration, infrastructure monitor, public safety and security to life. In places like Dubai, to bring the commerce alive using spatial artificial intelligence, and IntelliScan, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait. And as I'm now moving on to Stockholm, London, and a few other countries, one of the part of this is to bring it to life. And concrete case is Singapore. In Singapore, we have, for example, Changi Airport, which is quality-wise, I think, #1 airport in the world, adopting this, working with us for the last 4 years, now adopting this new concept of a spatial AI airport. Oh, okay, that was a lot. I know, I think we covered, let's see here, 122 slides. Yeah, so I thank you for your patience if you're still with me. And most important, I would like to welcome you to visit us and be a part of the upcoming event. So join us on join us on the AI revolution. The next event is August 21st, 7 days, 13 hours, 42 minutes and 30 seconds. You can start register. Here you can see where technology and creativity collides in the spatial AI. You can see that we have more than 100 countries. You can see some of our speakers from current and previous events. You can see how this can help your organization to be disruptive, how to pioneer this. Also, if you want to register, it's very simple. You just put your name here, your email address, and you select a venue. And you can see Stockholm is August 20th, Portugal, Lisbon, August 23rd to 28th, London, August 28th to 31st, Croatia, September, Romania, Bucharest, September 5th, Turkey, Istanbul, September 9th, Bulgaria, Sofia, September 12th, Dubai, September 16th, Abu Dhabi, September 20th, Kuwait, September 23rd, India, New Delhi, September, including Assam province, Bhopal. You also have, I don't know how to pronounce that, Bhubaneswar, that's where we work together with ITE in Singapore, Vietnam, Hanoi, Thailand, Bangkok, Dubai, South Korea, Philippines, Indonesia, California, finally. Dubai, it's the event, so now it's October 18th. That's when we meet, all of us. So please sign in now. If you are in a country outside those, no problem. Just send us a registration and you can join us online. Okay, so I see you on the road. Let's do this together. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. That's what a famous American president said, and I do agree with him. When it comes to AI, we need to face it. And sometimes if you can't beat them, join them. But one thing we cannot do is this one we can't miss out, because it literally will change our lives. So looking forward to that. Thank you so much and all the best. Take care.